armed, masked agents sweeping through cities, raiding work sites, arresting people on the street.
The Trump administration said the policy is designed to target those with dangerous criminal histories and believes law enforcement will act wisely and professionally.
In the U.S., nationwide raids against immigrants are taking place. Millions of people face deportation. The United States of America was founded on immigration, and immigration helped build it. But now, many are asking themselves, what does the future of this so-called nation of immigrants look like under Trump?
Here in Arizona and other U.S. cities, protesters gathered to push back against Trump's tough new immigration policies.
We will not forget our country, we will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God.
On the 4th of July, the social divides are impossible to overlook. Some stay home out of fear. Others out of protest. Independence Day has become a symbol of a divided nation, one where many fear for their future. Benson is a small town in rural Arizona. Many locals who traditionally voted Republican now support Trump's MAGA movement.
If somebody starts to attack me and I'm already here, before I can even move, I have to come here. That's a whole extra step. So we begin from this position. We stay in this position.
Michael McCune teaches karate. He found viral fame across the country when the president shared one of his social media posts. For him, Trump represents strength, order, and a vision for the U.S. that he supports.
Okay, continue. So my goal here is my students, it's not just to teach them to defend themselves against a punch, but how to teach them how to function in the real world, right? How to live, how to build a foundation and a core set of values so that from there, you can move on with your life. Good, there you go, Cole. That's it. That's the kind of activity. These are things that they often don't know that they need to know when they're going to be out there in the outside world and become voters. So when a child is born and raised here, right, they go through, hopefully, 18 years of becoming an American. They know by the time they're 18, they've walked it, they've lived it, they know what the core values are to be here in America. But what happens when somebody comes in and they bypass that, they come in and they're bringing their values here. And although this is supposed to be a melting pot, that's not what's happening. They're coming here and they're forming their own little congregations. They're not learning our language. But when they just come across the border, they don't know any of those things. And so they're not integrating. All right? And that's why you're seeing all this kind of chaos that's going around here is because they're not integrated. They're trying to take over.
Just 100 kilometers from the Mexican border lies the city of Tucson. The suburbs are home to thousands of families originally from Latin America. Many residents are new to the country and fear they may be forced to leave soon. Wendy and her family fled to the U.S. 2 years ago. Violence and threats forced them to flee their home in El Salvador.
Right now, we're all at the same risk of being deported, even though we made an official application.
Their application for asylum was initially approved, but after Trump took office, the decision was reversed. Now their status is in jeopardy.
They rescinded our work permits. They've taken away all our opportunities.
Ya está calientito. Ven pues. ¿Y tú? Te secaste ya con la ropa. Ve, cambiaste pues allá adentro.
Last year, he asked me, "Mum, did they give us permission to stay?" And I told him, "Yes, my love, they did." That's great, he said. Now we'll be able to go wherever we want and travel as a family. Later, when he saw we were sad, he asked, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yes, everything's fine, but the process is going to take longer." "But why?" he asked. "Didn't they already say yes?"
Wendy's mother also lives in the U.S. They talk on the phone every day.
They're just back from the pool. He's just coming.
Yes, outside. It was cold.
We try to give them the feeling that everything's fine. They know that we'll always be there for them. No matter what happens, my children will stay with me.
Nogales is on the border to Mexico. In 2023, unauthorized border crossings were at a record high. But these days, there are far fewer new arrivals. José Castro is the first in his family to be born in the U.S.
I'd say what really drove me away from the Democratic Party was the fact that I did not feel seen. I felt like I was seen not as an individual, but as my race, which is something like the Democratic Party always sees. We're just Latinos.
It looks like the unprecedented mass deportation campaign that President Trump had promised is underway. Here in Arizona, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration posted pictures of their efforts to assist with immigration enforcement.
I find it somewhat interesting that the Democrats don't realize that people who came here illegally, who are legal migrants, don't support them. They support Donald Trump because they don't like being lumped in as being who are illegals or saying, well, they came here illegally, you came legally, but you're basically all migrants. But no, it takes a year-long process to become an American.
Se ha portado bien. Portando bien, iba. Es bonita, pelita.
Yes, my dad's passing took a very heavy toll on me. It was very difficult. There are a lot of things I wish I could have told them that I will never get a chance to say. At that time, I remember I considered myself an atheist. And I hated the church, I hated the Catholic Church specifically. But then I found so much love in my fellow Catholics and in the church and in Jesus.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the communion.
That time I just remember how alone I felt. But I was just on my knees. And in my despair, I did hear a voice telling me that I wasn't alone and that I was loved. But I wasn't planning to become a Republican. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna follow my faith.
The situation in this country is so unfair. We did everything right, exactly as we were told to. We're paying a lawyer, which is expensive. I never imagined having debts like this. And there's no way I can get a work permit. Right now, with so many things we have to pay for, it's really hard to get by.
Wendy has a small online shop where she sells hand-embroidered items.
I try to sell a few things, so there's some money coming in and I can pay the bills. That was at the border. The worst thing that could have happened would have been having to return to El Salvador. The wall is what kept us and so many families from crossing. We were there every day. My boy would always say, "I want to go to McDonald's." And every day I'd tell him, "Someday we'll go." The day we were allowed to enter, that same afternoon, we went to McDonald's. It was the first restaurant we went to when we arrived.
José and his mother are both U.S. citizens. That means they can travel between the U.S. and Mexico whenever they like.
I'm adding lemon because it doesn't have much flavor.
My parents' heritage is Mexican and Salvadoran, but I'm American. I was born in America. I share the culture. I love the culture. That's why I always love coming to Mexico, you know, eating Mexican food, speaking Spanish.
¿Es ensalada o se le echan los tacos? Ensalada. ¿Cuánto nomás se come así solo?
Salsa o guacamole.
But I am an American, born and raised, and I believe that America should be for Americans, and if you want to come to America, you should come through legally.
José's father arrived to the U.S. in 1980. Back then, it was easier to get citizenship.
Ya cuando nos entregaron el cheque, cuando nos cambiaron cuando nos pagaron, nosotros fuimos a depositar el cheque en el banco y nosotros pensamos que el cheque sí había pasado. Como al mes el banco nos mandó una carta diciendo que el cheque había botado porque no había fondos y nosotros hablamos con Jonathan.
Isabel Garcia comes from a family that immigrated from Latin America several generations ago. She used to work as a criminal defense attorney and has been advocating for migrants for decades.
How do these effers sleep at night? They work people and then they leave them without payment. This happens all the time, so they contract guys to work, to set tile in particular, to do construction, to do cleanups, all kinds of stuff. They'll do the work and then they won't pay them. Like this woman, they paid him with phony checks that bounced.
We will have an investigator over at those folks pretty quickly, within a week or two.
And by appointment, if I can, I'll just check you.
In the state of Arizona, in the southwestern U.S., it's plain to see just how much the country is changing. Especially on the 4th of July, a day when American identity is celebrated.
So that car is going to be pulling the trailer?
Patty's truck.
Patty's truck.
Pulling it.
Well, we could put it on the side of the truck.
We could.
I say what unites everyone is the flag. That's why we're so proud to fly our flag. I say it doesn't unite everyone because there are always people who don't support the flag. They burn the flag. We saw it a couple weeks back where people in Los Angeles were burning the American flag, and there are people who hate America. I love our country, and I'm willing to die for my country, and I'm willing to defend my country, and that's why I'm joining the National Guard, so I can serve my country. Unfortunately, not a lot of people support that. They don't like our freedom and our Constitution, and they're not united as Americans. They're united into their own individual sectarian identities. Yeah.
For MAGA supporters like José, Independence Day is a day for people to show their loyalty to the country and set themselves apart from those he says don't belong.
The illegal amount of migration that's coming over here is not unifying us as a people. It's not pulling us together. It's creating division. It's creating financial distress. It's creating, battles on the street. We now have a greater division in this country than we've ever had before. Now we're on this close to the verge of that civil war because we have an entire sector of people who are refusing to follow the laws they don't like.
That's why I came, because, I know things are bad, and so I think the bill, at some point, we have to talk about it, right? Because it's massive militarization, both domestic, foreign, and all of it, and estamos jodidos, right? Especially right now, when the hammer's gonna come down. I have not had a chance to drive to the Marana prison, has anybody? Because that's where they're gonna put all the immigrants. That's the next place. But anyway, so I think we should talk more about doing barrio walks. Yes.
I think we just really hit the streets. We have to be looking for ICE. And I'm going to drive around tomorrow. I'm going to do the loop of 22nd between Aberdeen and down Congress. Plus, I have a megaphone that's really cool going underneath the bridge and releasing some anger.
Thank you. And then we all go in 2s or 4s and we go out and hit. That's really what we need to do, because we also did consejos consultivos where we would invite the people. We had a lot of success with that, but right now people don't want to go anywhere. People are really scared, unlike other periods that I have worked through. But I think we need to do like a full-on campaign against these kidnappings. Together with, engaging with the barrio walks, and not only know your rights, but look what's going on, right? But primarily...
Gave their lives willingly for their country. For the sight before us is that of a strong and good nation that stands in silence.
Michael is working on a sound design for the 4th of July celebrations. He wants to highlight how important this day is for the nation, its history, and its values.
So it's not just a party. It's not just celebrating and say, hey, we're going to have a few beers, we're going to watch some fireworks. The idea was to create an emotional connection, so as they're listening to it and watching the fireworks, sort of subliminally, they're hearing the songs and some of the clips throughout the history that bring that connection as to what this Independence Day actually means for us.
We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God.
If tomorrow all the things... So you're familiar with that song, I'm assuming? God Bless the USA. So that was Donald Trump, of course, and I used the line there where he went into, he says, we will not forget our God, and then it goes right into the words of God Bless the USA. So it was a way, again, to connect, modern with the classical song so that it's not just exactly the way that they would hear it on the radio. It has a little something, patriotic and special that's unique that they're not going to hear anywhere else.
I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Tucson's proximity to the Mexican border makes it a flashpoint for U.S. border policy. A shrine is dedicated to the thousands of immigrants who died on their journey to the United States.
Congressman Raul Grijalva, Congressman when he first ran. It's right now because he died. He died. Then she has to run again next year. And special election. We as a community have made this the shrine of the migrant. Really, ever since that terrible plight of the 13 Salvadorans that died. We came here, and then we came back in June of 2000, when people began dying just in the regular migration that we've known all along. And so we said, no, we have to call attention to migrants dying. So we were here every single Thursday. After the Derechos meeting, we'd all come over here for 17 years.
Ni toda la tierra entera, ni toda la tierra entera será un poco de mi tierra. Donde quiera que me encuentre, donde quiera que me encuentre, seré siempre pasajera. Mi trabajo cotidiano, mis estrellas, mi ventana, se convirtieron ceniza. Se convirtieron ceniza de la noche a la mañana.
In the border town of Nogales, July 4th is a day to demonstrate unity and solidarity. But beneath the celebrations, tensions are simmering. Since Trump tightened immigration measures, the issue has become even more emotionally charged.
The 4th of July used to mean just like some big party, You hang around with friends. So, you have a couple of drinks, you have a hamburger and a hot dog, do some American stuff. But it's just really been more divisive now. Like, the Democrats have essentially boycotted the 4th of July for 2 years straight now. They don't want to show up there because they think America is evil. And when I go to the 4th of July with my fellow Republicans, it's like, we're celebrating America. This isn't just a party. This is just a thing where we get to hang out. This is where we get to celebrate our country.
Much needed time, we needed some action, we need to show these people that we're not afraid of them. I don't know if you heard, there was a fortunate loss of life in one of the ICE raids yesterday. One of the farm workers in California, he fell off a ladder while being chased.
It's hypocritical, sometimes it's painful to see celebrations of the flag and the 4th of July, knowing that people don't even know the history. Here on the 4th of July, we're celebrating this country that they claim is a nation of immigrants, and we're persecuting immigrants, we're running them down. So for the 4th of July, it's a big hypocrisy to celebrate it.
Since the beginning of 2025, the situation for many immigrants has worsened significantly. Their chances of being allowed to stay in the U.S. have decreased, and their social and economic security is at stake.
They're doing it to make us immigrants desperate, because we decided to come here. But just imagine if we decided to leave. I mean, where would we go? Isn't that dangerous? And I'll tell you, as a mother, I don't want to start over from scratch again. My children have already gone through that situation many times. It's really hard to be torn between staying here or starting over and suddenly having nothing. Staying or leaving.
Oh, finally the sun is beginning to drop. Outstanding. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, it's just going to be loud and it's going to be bright.
So the identity and the soul of the USA is what goes back to our founding fathers. It was how we were created. It's about our Constitution. It's about the rule of law. So if somebody just comes across the border, they don't speak our language, they have no clue of what it is to be an American, but they get to vote on how America is going to be. So that's why we have to go through the process to ensure that our values remain strong. Otherwise, we end up as we have, as a divided nation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight?
It's a powerful meaning that we must be grateful and show gratitude for all those who went through, literally life and death for us over the past 250 years to ensure that we have this freedom.
For the land of the free and the home of the
brave. 3, 2, 1, go.
We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Celebrating unity, even though the nation is being torn apart.
July the 4th now is not about independence. It's about my way or the highway. Let's face it. In the Southwest, people celebrate with firecrackers and what have you, but this connection of breaking away from Europe sort of becomes hollow for us. What does that mean? Right? Liberty for who? Independence for who? It's always been the same thing, though. Who belongs?
In 2026, the U.S. will celebrate 250 years of independence. Immigration was once seen as central to the country's identity. Today, that vision feels more elusive than ever.